What's going on, guys? It's Phoenix back for another video, and yeah, we're gonna do a proper review of sorts. Open and Play's Big Cannon. You guys saw my initial thoughts video that I did, but I wanted to get an actual proper review out on Big Cannon here, even though I know a whole mess of people have already done so. But you know, I have some time to kill, so why not get my thoughts out there. Anyway, the quick 30-second or less synopsis of my thoughts on Galvatron here from Open and Play, as I'm just going to keep calling him throughout, is recommended, but not for that $60 price that places like TF Source, Big Bad Toy Store, and similar stores are recommending you get him for. Honestly, I got him for probably about $5 more than I could have gotten him back at TFCon DC, which happened right before he was officially released, I think. Or there were some early samples of him there. And that price, roughly $35.40, which is a step below what leaders go for at retail now, that's the price that I recommend him for. But I do recommend him on the whole. So there's your quick little mini capsule review if you don't have the time to watch this video in full. Anyway, more details. Honestly, my biggest issues with this figure, and this is coming from somebody who didn't bother with Open and Play's Big Spring, because I don't really see the need for for a third-party classic Springer, when in my opinion we kind of got the definitive one from Hasbro with the Generations Springer from a few years back. And I don't also see the need, at least personally, for a Masterpiece Springer. Mainly because of space, but also because that's just a character that I don't need a Masterpiece iteration of. I also am not really of the mindset that Open and Play is trying to do that Masterpiece scale or the Masterpiece styled figure for any of their releases, unlike a whole mess of other third-party figures. Because, and granted, I don't have Big Spring and I don't plan on getting Big Spring, like I said, Big Cannon, or Galvatron as I'm just going to keep calling him here, does not feel like a Masterpiece class figure or a Masterpiece styled figure. He's not. Like I said in my initial thoughts video, and like I know at least Emgo has said in his video, go into this figure assuming he's an inspired by / reimagining / third-party imitation and bettering of Titan's Return Galvatron. Because that's what this is. This is the classic Galvatron that we should have gotten in Titan's Return. But apparently Hasbro wanted to give us a very crappy mask gimmick and a craptacular third jet mode. What the hell was that shit? Anyway, I digress. Not much here to write about home-wise, because that sentence made sense, in the Space Cannon of Death mode. But my gripes with the figure do kind of go across both modes, so I'm just going to address them here. The plastic on the whole kind of feels a little bit cheap and thin. That's not to say that this figure's going to fall apart and disintegrate over time, or that there isn't heft to him, because there is some good sizable heft to him. He just doesn't feel as, I guess, well polished as other third-party figures. And he feels kind of cheap, which is part of why I say don't get him for $60, because if you get him for that price, you will be let down. To me, he feels kind of on par with what we've been getting from Hasbro with the modern leader class figures in recent years. This is a figure that, honestly, if it wasn't done by Open and Play, I could see Hasbro retrying a proper classic Galvatron and it being kind of similar quality to this. And I feel like that's kind of a knock on Open and Play, but overall, I do really like this figure, like I've said. The other issue, and this is an issue that hopefully is exclusive to my copy, but it's about this section here, the cannon. I know with the official transformation, even though Open and Play stuff, you don't get instructions, you just open it and you play with it and you figure it out, you're supposed to take this section of the cannon right here and store it in that port right there. But when I went to do that the first time I transformed Galvatron here to his alt mode, there started to be stress marks between the cannon and this section. Now granted, that could have just been me pulling on this section wrong and not just yanking it straight out. That's going to be gift or jift. And as opposed to like wiggly waggling it like so. And even so, that makes it a little bit wibbly wobbly now, which is God, both of those things, me going like this and this, are gonna get jiffed. Anyway, so when I did that, there were some stress marks on basically where this clear translucent plastic meets the port that it pegs into inside here. So because of that, I just kind of leave the cannon like this across both modes and just plug the peg in to that port there, as you can see. So that's just something to be aware of. Hopefully that's just exclusive to my copy. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and do the transformation, shall we? Because you have your 360 here of the tank mode, or the space cannon mode, and there's not really a whole lot to talk about. So yeah. Anyway, because I don't talk about color schemes, because it's kind of pointless to talk about color schemes. Anyway, transformation. Go ahead and pop off the cannon from that port, which on mine does take considerable wiggle waggling because the connection between the peg and the port is very tight, and that's both with that port and the arm ports. Take the peg right here, and you just want to fold it like that, so that happens. Set the fusion cannon of orangeness off to the side. Come to the core figure. Let's go ahead and rotate these shoulder pylons up just to get them out of the way. Focus on the legs first. What you want to do with the legs, you want to basically split this section. So come to the underside. Basically split this piece in half. Then come to what will be the front of the figure and basically just bring the legs out. They're on a double hinge system in here. Just bring them all the way down, making sure to bend them at, there's a hinge right in, grab a flashlight. The hinge right in there towards the bottom, and there's a hinge right there towards the top. Hopefully you guys can see this. So that hinge, and then there's another hinge in there right towards the bottom. Sorry if that was a little overly bright. Still getting used to using that flashlight. Anyway, so you want to basically accordion the legs down on those ratcheting knees, and then basically lock them in here. On each leg, and I'll show this now because you rotate the leg at the thigh swivel, so it faces, so this red is on the same side as that red. There's a slider tab situation right here. That locks this assembly basically in place behind this plastic, so the knee is secure. You still get the full range of motion with the knee, but this keeps the knee tabbed in and secure, and there's no flippy floppiness with the knee joint. Anyway, finishing up the leg. Take the foot, fold it down, take this panel right here that this little assembly's on, and you just fold that around. Take this chunk, fold it in on itself like so, fold it inside that panel as I move off camera, and just fold that in like so, finishing up and closing up the leg. The same thing on this side, bring it all the way down with a very satisfying set of ratchets, rotate it towards you, so we've got this situation going on. You flip out the foot, take this side panel right here, rotate that around. You want to take this piece, go like that, close it up, bring the leg down. There you go. We have the lower body all the way done. Super easy, right? Anyway, next thing you want to do, you want to take this assembly right here and basically just bring it down, like so. Then you want to take the sections here that the arms / treads are on, just kind of bring them up for now on their joints. We'll finish them here in a second. Next thing you want to do is you want to take this section right here, and he will rotate 180 right above that red. So like so. Make sure that's all straight. There we go. And now you have this going on with the front of the figure. We'll do the arms next. So what you want to do is you want to take the treads, leg, this chunk. Not do the shoulder ratchet first, but you want to take this and just rotate it towards the front of the figure like so. Rotate the shoulder down 180 on that very satisfying ratchet. Untab the forearm. There's a peg. There's a port. Again, we'll see if I can show that off better. There we go. You got a port right there. And a peg right there. So you do that. Straighten out the arm. There's a panel right here. You can see that gap in the plastic. Open up that. And you flip out the hand. Like so. Close that up. Bring the arm down. At this point, you can actually just fold this panel back up. Just keep in mind, if you want waist posability in robot mode, you do have to lower this, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Anyway, second verse is exactly the same to steal a phrase from MGO on this arm. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Boop-boop. Boop. Ba-do. Straighten out the arm. And he's almost done. He just has no head. So you want to come here, grab right here, pretty much right below that port where the cannon plugged in. Open up the chest panel, which for me is like the hallmark section of plastic that feels a little bit too thin. And you just want to flip out the head, like so. I also think that, that's a very satisfying but also kind of unnerving sound there. I feel like the chest cavity there is a little bit too big for the head. I feel like they could have made it a little bit shallower, not nearly as deep. They could have made the chest a little bit more solid feeling. But yeah, so there you go. There you go, Galvatron in his robot mode. Now, what I do before I attach the weapon, usually, is I take this section, which is just a little flippy-floppy. And I believe this is actual cannon to do, no pun intended. I just extend this piece out like that. There's a port right there. There's a peg on his back. I just marry those two. And of course, they're fiddly and they don't want to cooperate. There we go. So that keeps all of that mostly secure and stable. So, stand him up. Then there's a port on either arm, but we obviously all know what arm the fusion cannon goes into, because this is freaking Galvatron we're talking about. So, just attach the fusion cannon, or the arm cannon, blah, 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 and there you go. Open&Play's Big Cannon, or Classics Galvatron. Really nicely freaking done. Posability is pretty much what you expect. You got 360 at the head, with up and down tiltage as well. You saw the posability on the arms for transformation. It's pretty much all it is, including the wrist swivel. And you got 2 pin joints on the hands. So you got the normal opening and closing, then you got a point on the hand. And you got forward and back at the legs, thigh swivel, knee bend about 90 degrees. And then you got the foot tilt to transformation and an ankle rocker. So there's your quick posability rundown. Anyway, let's end this review that has gone on far too long with a shot of that head sculpt. If my camera will focus, which it's not going to. There we go. That's slightly better. Anyway, yeah, definitely recommend him, like I said at the beginning of the video. Just get him for about at most normal retail leader class Transformer price. Cool. I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that happens to be.